going to be showing you how to make hard industrial techno in style of Warden, DJ Troll, this type of stuff with a little bit of a hardstyle influence even. To go along this video, you can get this full template that you just heard in the intro at the top of the description on my website. Make sure to go grab that. It's the best way to make the best industrial techno track of your life today. Thank you so much for the support, guys, and let's dive in. Alright, so the first thing we got here, we're at 160 BPM. It's going to be this arp. So if you look at the notes for this, what we're doing is it's like an A sharp minor. So what we're doing is we're doing root note, ninth, third, and then a third up here. So it's like, right, but it's one of those ones where, especially when you get these super techno synths, this is almost like a raw, deep techno synth or something like that. You know, the patch works together with the notes. So you don't even totally, like, even like being, you know, having that musical ear, you can't even totally hear what it's doing, right? The way we get that is with this operator patch. What it is it's I've used the draw your own waveform thing here. Like, it's starting as a sine wave, which would basically be like just this harmonic over here. But then we've also got this one, and then I drew in this. So that's just like the base waveform, right? And then we're getting FM from another waveform, which you can see I added a few harmonics. And that sounds like that. That's also super detuned. And then we add in this last one, which I just added one harmonic. And there's the sound. So you can see operator can be really useful for this type of stuff. We've also got a low pass here with a little envelope. It's key tracked, and that's part of making that really dynamic. If I turn off the key tracking, see, it's not as alive, right? Plus the hard shaper. And then we've also got a little bit of an LFO on the filter resonance. Right, so there's a lot moving there. We got a bit of echo, a bit of reverb, high pass, and then we're just side chaining it to the kick. Then we got our hardstyle screech. So the way you're gonna make this is, first of all, the note length matters. Like, when you want to do like this, just little stab, you have to have a short note. It may seem obvious, but I see people do it like this, like, and they're like, why isn't it so short and stabby? You know, even like, you could even make it shorter, you know? Like, why not do this? But yeah, so I got mine like that. And then as far as the sound goes, we're using wavetable. We got two saw waves, but they're super detuned in opposite directions. So it's not just the unison. Like, if I turn that off, there's already a lot of detune happening in the synth. That's honestly cool just on its own. But yeah, so we got a low pass on there, just making it a bit more plucky. I've also got the pitch envelope just on the oscillator 1 pitch. And that looks like this. It's just a very short one to kind of create the screech. And then we have noise unison all the way up. And that takes it over the edge, right? Also, the processing is pretty important. Like, if I turn off the effects, it just sounds like that, right? So we got, first of all, this reverb, this hybrid reverb here, with like a little bit of a short room kind of thing that I dialed in down there. Then some overdrive, which brings out the reverb and brings out the screech. A little bit of reverb after that, right? You want these to be pretty reverbed, and then a high pass, and then a side chain. So then we got this guy. It's just like a little short stab, but you can see they all kind of play their own part, right? Like, when you put all three of these together, right? So this is a very simple synth on its own, but it's about how it's working together with the other ones. So what this is doing is, again, it's short notes. And this is kind of like a screech as well, but it's a little bit different. This, we have two square waves, and then we have, it's almost like a similar patch, right? I've got like that pitch envelope. Again, just on the oscillator 1 pitch. But then I've got that same thing on the pulse width of both oscillators, the sync of oscillator 2. So we're just kind of creating this like synced out screech, essentially. A bit of echo, some pedal. Here's without the pedal. You can see that does a lot. The screeches are basically about distorting super saws, and then the pitch envelopes with that. High pass, and then a side chain. And then there's all the synths. So from there, we have our industrial drums. Starting with the main hi-hat right here. So what I'm doing is I've got 2 layers. I've got this one. And then this operator actually, which is just a little bit of noise with a bandpass filter that's just kind of creating a punch. Plus we got this hi-hat obviously. And that's just kind of one groove. Then we have our ride, which I have the auto pan on that, so it's going to sound like it's bouncing off the kick. We have this little analog percussion, which is just noise with a bandpass filter as well, but it sounds a little different inside of analog. We have that envelope, and then it's being sidechained. We have this percussion. So what this is I'm actually taking the kick sample, and you can see there's a lot of processing. So we're taking the kick, 16th notes using the arpeggiator, and then there's also a filter. We're low passing it. Then we're cutting out a little bit of sub, short, very short reverb, plus distortion, bandpass filter, more distortion, which you can hear, that's when it really comes to life, high pass, low pass, and then auto pan to make it bounce off the kick. And yeah, this is a really good way to add some life to your kick. Like if you play the kick, you see when I add that and this other layer I'm about to show you, it really just kind of sounds like part of the kick, but it's like giving movement to the kick. So then we have this one. So this is operator, we're just doing 16th notes, right? It's white noise going into a bandpass filter, hard shaper, and an envelope, so it's nice and punchy. We have this LFO on the filter, just moving that around kind of slowly, randomly. That's what the SNH would do. A little bit of delay, a little bit of distortion, high pass, and then a little low pass as well. And again, it just kind of teams up with that last layer. But yeah, it just teams up with that last layer, and it adds to the kick. So then we have the kick. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn everything off on the group here. So we start with this main kick layer. This is just a hard techno kick I made a little while ago. Then we got this. So already what we're doing is we're taking, our first layer, and then we're adding another layer with the same kick, which you can hear adds a lot of punch on top. So what we're doing here is first we're low passing a little bit. I'll go ahead and just turn everything off and go one by one. So we're low passing a little bit. And also making this very short, you can see. Then we're filtering some more. Distortion, and then high pass. And it just creates that click that'll sit on top of the other kick. Then we have our rumble. Now the way we're doing the rumble is kind of a combination of different rumble methods that I've shown you over the years. So what we're doing here is first we got the kick. We have an arpeggiator doing 16th notes. We're low passing it, and then also you can see I'm dragging this start time forward, because if you just start it there, there's way less bass over there. You can see you got to drag it here to this part of the kick where all the bass is, and you'll get that. Then we're subcutting, reverb, amp, which I'll show you. Then low pass again, and then we have these 2 auto pans to make it bounce off the kick. And then finally, we just have this little tiny layer. You almost can't hear it. But again, it just adds texture to the kick. And it comes out a lot more too once we turn the group processing on. But all this is that same thing, but we're kind of distorting it more in the mid-range now. Like I'm cutting out all the low end, band passing, heavy amp, right? So then we end up with this, which is pretty good, but it's not fully like what we want just yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little more subcut and also a little boost in the mids. Pedal. around 15%, but you can hear it does a lot. Then we have this like rumble layer, which you can hear really adds in the mid-range. So what it is it's 2 chains. We got a dry, and then this, which is essentially just hybrid reverb, getting distorted with an amp, bandpassed, and then auto pan so it'll bounce off the kick nicely and not get in the way. After that, another subcut, converting the whole thing to mono. And then a little bit of a limiter. You can see the kick is not actually clipping. We're not using the limiter to fix any clipping. We're just trying to bring the level back up on the kick. And it helps to glue everything. Now, if you do this too much, yeah, you're just going to lose all your dynamics. But if you turn it up a little bit, it's just a nice little secret at the end to sort of glue it all together. Then the last thing we got is this. This little vocal sample. So what this is it sounding like this. LSD. Right? I just took that. I pitched it down a little bit. The guy's saying LSD. Then I high passed it. LSD. Which is underrated. Like, if you're going to distort your vocal, don't just high pass it after. High pass before too, because I'll show you. Like if we distort it, LSD. It sounds juicy, but if we turn that off, LSD, LSD, LSD. See, it really helps the distortion. So we got that delay, LSD, distortion after the delay, so it gets nice and kind of compressed. High pass after, and then side chain. And there we are. So there it is. As you can see, it's not that hard, not too different from your usual industrial track, but with a bit of hardstyle influence with the screeches and stuff like that. So that's me for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full project file, samples, MIDI, presets. The entire template from this video is available at the top of the description on my website. Thanks so much for the support, everybody. Every little bit helps, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.